Hello, and welcome to the recording for the class of 2023 parent night that we had last week. And I'm going to quickly go through the materials that were covered. We started with welcoming and introductions. Mr. Eric Bolin, our principal, introduced himself and the counseling team, and Mr. Carl Wagner, who is in charge of the Senior Success Center, and started off with the reminder that all juniors will be taking the SAT here in March, on March 2nd, and that can actually be a potential qualifier for some of the stuff we're going to talk about with regard to scheduling. My name is Julie Presley. I am the school counselor for last names A through G, so I'll be walking you through the information that was covered that evening. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact your student's counselor, and we can address and meet your needs and answer any questions that you may have. So, again, the SAT is going to be given on March 2nd to all juniors, and just have kids prepared for that. It's at least a free opportunity to see if they can meet some certain requirements. A lot of colleges are going test optional with regard to those test scores. However, in order to qualify for the majority of their merit scholarships, students would need to share those grades. But this is an opportunity to get those scores sent free to those colleges that are prospective for your students. Scholarships and college and career readiness. Mr. Wagner has been awesome in facilitating the introduction in the last 5 years of our Senior Success Center. He is the one-stop shop where all the scholarships and information and students can get help in completing college applications, and not only things for colleges, but also for college and career readiness, and in terms of careers, get kids in line for apprenticeships and vocational trade schools, ready straight to work type opportunities. And we learned just last week that we are going to be partnering with Eli Lilly about getting some of our students who are ready to get into the workforce and get some training that they in fact end up paying for. So that'll be an opportunity for some of our current seniors. And then they're wanting to partnership with us in the future. So that could include your student for next year. We're going to talk a lot about graduation pathways, and that is over here. There's a link that will take you to this form. Let me click and drag once it opens up for me. And you can see here just that same image, just larger. You can't just earn a diploma like we used to. Starting with the class of 2023, which is your child, we have to do these 3 steps. Not only do we do the credits that we've always done, we have to learn and demonstrate employability skills and post-secondary ready competencies. There are a variety of different ways to get those outcomes demonstrated. If your child has a job, that counts. We just get the employer to verify that. If they are participating in extracurricular or co-curricular activities. Co-curricular would be like human and social services or early childhood education. Extracurricular could be a club or a sport. If it's a club, they need to be a leader, hold a leadership position, and it can't be like a one and done type thing. It's got to be something that's done over a period of time. So there's lots of different potentials here. Your students have some more information in the Google form that they are going to complete to let us know what their electives are, and some of that spelled out even in more detail in that presentation that your child will be receiving. Then there's post-secondary ready competencies, which they could get an academic or technical honors diploma, achieve these scores on the SAT. Again, March 2nd, they'll be taking that, so that will give them an opportunity to see, you know, is that going to be something that is attainable for them. There's also the ACT. ACT has these specific scores. What makes it a little different is that it's not just reading, writing, and math. It's English and reading, math, and science, and they need 2 out of the 4, one of them coming from English and reading, and one of them coming from math and science. ASVAB is another opportunity. Most people think about that as being a military entrance exam, but what it's given for here, the version here, is more for career exploration. They take a core battery of tests, and based upon their scores, then they are given recommendations of, based on their answers, of what type of career they might be well suited for. They can get industry certifications. Some of these are available more currently through Hoosier Hills, and we're working on bringing them here to the MHS building, looking to grow that as a program. Apprenticeships, those are going to be difficult, especially for younger kids under 18 to really gain those. CTE concentrators, there's a lot of those. There was a handout given that I'll show here in a minute that shows all the different concentrators and how to do all of that. And then dual credit AP. We don't do IB or Cambridge, but AP and dual credit, they have to get a C or higher in 3 courses. One of the 3 courses must be in a core content area, or all 3 of those courses have to be part of the CTE pathway, which will be shown in the spreadsheet that I'll post here momentarily. We're working on some locally created pathways, and then there is a potential for a waiver, but attendance and everything is all a piece of that. And so that it gets a little more complicated than to try to just explain it here. Moving back. Cap and gown. Just so you know, cap and gown, that information will be coming sooner than you think. As soon as school starts, before the end of the first trimester, we get those cap and gown things going on. So make sure that you're reading your emails and all of that, so that we can make sure that we're on track for all of that good stuff, because it goes by fast. Okay, so the handouts that were given that night, we had the diploma guidelines, which are right here. Everybody at minimum does the Core 40. Core 40 with academic honors adds this. Technical honors would add that, and then the combination of the 2 would be for anybody who wants to do the academic and technical honors. It is possible. The pathway document I already went over, and 21st Century Scholars. 21st Century Scholars, your student would have applied for that, or you would have applied for that on behalf of your student when they were in 8th grade before coming to high school. Using this link here takes you to the information for 21st Century Scholars. But most of us would be interested here in the Scholar Track. And in Scholar Track, if you don't already have a login or register, you can register for an account. But logging in here helps for you to know what your child has completed in terms of the requirements. There are 12 tasks that have to be completed, and graduate with a 2.5 minimum GPA. If you have any questions, just contact me. I'm Julie Presley again, and I'm the counselor who heads up the 21st Century Scholars. Your students should already be in a Google Classroom and have heard from me with regard to what their status was in terms of completing their tasks at the beginning of this year. Dual credits. We have several opportunities for dual credits. If you go to this link, it talks about AP or ACP and what those mean. And then, let me hide this so that you can see. You can click on the tabs down below and see what dual credits are offered in the different departments. And then some classes that we've had historically. And then these are the ones that are currently at Hoosier Hills. These are free college credits. One caveat that I would like to add here, though, is just so that you're aware, that can impact financial aid in terms of the class standing that your student may have, and that it could, if they graduate with so many credits and it puts them at a different class standing, colleges, you don't just get 4 years of financial aid. It depends upon what your class standing is. NCAA, if your student is planning to participate in athletics at the collegiate level or NAIA, be sure that the counselors know, because there are different criteria that need to be met that's beyond the diploma requirements to make sure that they are in fact eligible when they enter to participate. Hoosier Hills Career Center. Some of your students are already there and some may want to go for next year. This is a link here that will take you to their website, and you can look at the different things. And you can look at, excuse me, their faculty, their different programs. We do not participate in every single one of these programs, because some of them we have here at Martinsville, and others they offer, or they are only offered structured to where Bloomington schools, just because of the timing and transportation issues, it does limit the availability. Down here at the bottom is our counseling website link. Our little Bitmoji here of all the counselors. In order to use the links that are in here, you would have to click to download, and then the links are all active. You notice they have SAT, ACT, that takes you to the registrations, NCAA, NAIA, 21st Century Scholar, FAFSA. You guys will want to learn about that, because you'll be filing that next fall if your student wants to go to school the following year after they graduate. And then we have all of these different links that are also available. Your students will have received a link to a Google form for scheduling, and they will complete that, and that will get the electives so that the counselors can get all of their requests and alternates entered in. Those will be opened up for families to view after spring break, and you'll have until May 1st to make any changes that may be necessary. And if you have any questions, to have time to contact the counselors. I am going to go back to our counseling website and show where, if your student is an athlete, they can actually go to the 4 athletes and scroll over here to this GPA calculator. For the NCAA, this tells you of all the requirements that need to take place. I've already typed in all of the courses that they will take that can count, and then the blanks would be to fill in for anything extra. And then there are the links here to show where like what SAT or ACT score to match in order for eligibility. It's on a sliding scale based on GPAs. And this is how to fill in the values. For honors classes, they are given an extra point, except for D's, still get one. And it just kind of tells you how to enter in, and this will actually, everything's formatted to calculate once you enter in the letter grades and things of that nature. If you have these values entered in, it will automatically gives you the credit points, and then it will total everything together. And down here, it'll tell you what the course GPA is. And then finally, the meeting had ended with Ms. Shannon Adams talking on behalf of all the post-prom and fundraising. There was Dine to Donate opportunities. And if you're interested in helping with post-prom, then don't hesitate to reach out. Again, it's Shannon Adams, and she's a teacher here at the high school, SHANNON.ADAMS@msdmartinsville.org if you're interested in helping with post-prom. And then finally here is all the contact information for each of the counselors. Again, I'm Julie Presley. I have A through G. Angela Stremming has H through O. Erica Scroy Jump has P through Z. And then Cammie Hyde is our department chair. Please don't ever hesitate to reach out to any one of us if you have any questions, and we'll get back to you and be as helpful as we can. Take care, and thank you for listening.